Yo, what's up, Algebra 2? Today we talked about number lines and inequalities. How do we graph inequalities and solve inequalities for a number line. So a couple things that you need to know about inequalities. So inequalities basically, hopefully you see these symbols. Okay? So if I give you something like this, x is greater than, x is greater than 5. And I say, I want you to graph this on a number line. Okay? You need to know what to do. Well, if I have my number line here, oops, it doesn't go up and down. Okay? Now, I know you could be writing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 5, but I think you know how a number line works. That way to the right is greater, bigger it gets. That way to the left is less. So I don't need you to write every number. If you really feel like you should, then go ahead. But you don't have to. So I'm just going to put a line right in the middle. So we're at the number 5 on our number line. What I want you to do is make a circle here. Okay? Now, since it doesn't have the or equal to sign, you leave it what we call open. You don't fill this one in. Okay? So these end up being open circles. These end up being closed. So you don't have to fill that in. So now we need to just draw our arrow from that circle in the correct direction. This says x is anything greater than 5. That means anything on that side of the number 5. So we draw our arrow that way. And that's how you do these, okay? It's very basic, very simple. Again, x is greater than 5, so anything bigger, anything on the right side of the number 5. Now if I were to give you x is less than or equal to -2, again, you make your line, have your line in the middle for -2, draw a circle. But since it says or equal to, x is less than or equal to, we're going to fill that in. So we actually fill that in, closed circle. Now it says x is less than, that means smaller than. On a number line, going to the left means you're getting smaller, so we just draw an arrow going left. There you go. So again, just some basics right here. But now we're actually going to talk about solving. So how do we solve and graph? Because again, you're going to be given, it's not going to be so basic where it just gives you one number. You're actually going to have to solve some of these. So, solve and graph. Okay. So the first problem that we did in class looked like this. 2x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 7. Okay? So what you want to do is treat these pretty practically. Okay? You're going to treat these a lot like you do equations. How to move things from one side to the other of our inequality symbol. So since this doesn't have x, we're going to move what doesn't have x to the right side. So you subtract 3 from both sides. So you're left with 2x is greater than or equal to 4. And lastly, you need to get rid of that 2, so we divide by 2. So you get x is greater than or equal to 2. There you have it. And again, if you need to graph it, put the number 2, put a circle there. Since it's or equal to, we fill it in, and it says x is greater than, so larger than 2. Okay? This right here would be enough work, so you get full credit for a problem like that. So again, get everything to one side of the inequality symbol, get the x's to the other. Now, if I were to give you this though, so -4x minus 6 is less than 2x plus 1, okay? So again, don't freak out. Still the same thing as if it were like an equal sign, how to move stuff across the inequality symbol. So I can move the 2x by subtracting. So it gives me -6x minus 6 is less than 1. And since I moved the x to this side, I need to move what doesn't have x to the right side. So I'm going to add 6. So you have -6x is less than 7. Now here's the one little difference than if there were an equal sign. When we divide, okay, we end up with -7/6 on this side. If you ever multiply or divide by a negative number, okay, if you you ever multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to change the direction of that symbol. So this becomes x is greater than. X is greater than negative 7/6. Okay? So again, whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to change the direction of the inequality symbol. And to graph it, you have negative 7/6 here, open circle, because there's no or equal to, and it says x is anything greater than that value. Okay? And so I hope that made sense. Let's try a little bit harder of a problem here. We're going to stick with the same direction, solving graph. Okay? So we have here 3x minus 2. This will be our last problem. Over 4 is less than or equal to 2x. Whoops. There you go. 2x plus 5 over 3. Okay? Now there's a couple different ways you can actually handle this type of problem. I would just cross multiply. But if you're going to cross multiply, leave the numerators where they're at. Because we talked about cross multiplying like this. Don't move the numerators. Leave the numerators where they're at. We're just going to move our denominators up. So you have 4 times that. Okay? So again, we cross multiply. The 3 comes up here. The 4 goes up there. Now we are going to distribute. So we have 9x minus 6 is less than or equal to 8x plus 20. Okay? Get the x's to one side, everything else to the other. So we can subtract 8x, which gives us 1x minus 6 is less than or equal to 20. And just 2 more. So 2 more steps. Add the 6 to get x is less than or equal to 26. Hope you can see that. X is less than or equal to 26. And then our number line, we have 26. Since it's or equal to, remember, it's going to be closed, so you have to fill it in. And x is less than, less left, okay? Less left of 26, okay? So that's what we did today. I hope these steps make sense. If you have more questions, ask me questions at school. I hope you understand. Or you can just replay this video once or twice or as many times as you prefer. And hopefully this will help you. So hope you watch it if you're confused in class. And yes, that's how you graph inequalities on a number line and solve inequalities. So good luck with that.